We are on the road to WrestleMania. We're almost there. 50. What the fuck is this fleece?
It's my new identity. You like it?
Nope, fucking sucks. Get the shit off. Serious, dude?
Yeah. The Guardian is here.
Let's go ahead and take that off.
All right. Guardian's actually still dead.
The fucking Guardian is not here, but we are the WrestleWramblers, and one day he will return after he stops being a complete fucking sissy because his little wrist broke from jacking off too much.
That's
anyway,
true,
speaking of jacking off,
yeah,
we just kind of felt like a spent load right now because we just finished seeing this year's Elimination Chamber, which was kind of like a touted event, not just because it's one step towards WrestleMania, but also because it had the first women's Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about all that happened right fucking now. I'm the GoonTick. No, I'm not the GoonTick. You're the GoonTick. Yeah. I'm Ahab, and we're about to ramble about that. Dude, fucking fleece gotta stop.
My new identity is fleece face.
Anyway, we're gonna start off with a fucking kickoff, even though it's totally not worth talking about.
Nope.
Gallows and Anderson versus the Miztourage. Gallows and Anderson win via a magic killer to the Miztourage. Nobody in the world cared.
Nope.
Opinion.
I didn't care.
Opinion about the match besides not giving a shit.
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention during this match.
That seems to be the trend throughout the whole event.
Because Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson suck. Even though I get that they were once good, but who the fuck gives a shit? Their characters
the whole
stank,
nerd thing is bad. The nerd chant. I did see that.
I don't give a shit about the nerd chant. It's just they suck, man. Their characters are terrible. And Miztourage, who gives a fuck about Miztourage? So yeah, Gallows and Anderson won. I'm sure people that liked them before are happy about that, but I wouldn't be. If I had liked them before, it's like the Ruby Riott thing. I'd be like, man, this is a waste. Anyway, whatever. That was a kickoff.
Festus.
Nobody gave a fucking shit. And the actual event started, and we started with the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which was kind of a surprise. But anyway, we had in the match Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss. And of course, at stake was Alexa's belt, if she could lose it at any fucking point in the match. Just real quick, the order of entry. Well, we started with Bayla, I was going to say.
Bayla's pretty cool.
Bayley and Sonya. And the order of entry was Mandy, Sasha, Mickie, and Alexa at the ass end of it all. And the order of eliminations were Mandy, Sonya, Mickie, and Bayley, with the final two being Banks versus Bliss, and Bliss retaining with DDT applied to Sasha Banks. Anyway, what do you think about this little match? What's up? Give me the...
I don't know.
First of all, this fucking fleece.
I don't know if I'm wrong on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. I think this was probably my favorite match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was pretty high action.
Yeah.
High impact. Pretty fun throughout. And it was actually, engaging.
Yeah.
And it actually, advanced storylines that have been on
hold
the fence for, ever.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. This match was exceptionally good, and it put the men's elimination chamber match to fucking shame.
Yeah.
To shame. I kind of want to forget the men's elimination chamber match. It was, spoiler alert before we get there.
Wasn't great.
It fucking sucked, really. It really was bad. It had good moments in it, but it was bad overall.
Not enough of them.
Yeah, but on the contrary, the women's match was, like you said, from the get-go was good. First of all, it's good to see that they're continuing to keep Bayley in this light of being the competitor she can be, which has been a trend as of late, which is good because I think everybody for a while there thought that Bayley was done. That's it. She was no way she could recover from where they'd put her, but they've been building her up for a while now, and she's actually, competitive in the ring now, which we know she can be from NXT. And it's just good that she started off strong. She was strong.
There is some parts where she does get beat up a lot, but she doesn't. It's not like they're beating up a kid.
Yeah,
like it was for a while.
It actually makes sense. It plays into what's going on versus beating a fucking bee around.
Yeah,
I don't know why a bee, but anyway. But yeah, her and Sonya had a good little. Sonya's been proving to be the best call up from NXT for the girls so far. And to have her be that competent before, and then here standing in front of Bayley, and they're actually, at each other's fucking necks in a way that seemed very entertaining. And then you throw in Mandy Rose into the scene, so it was 2-on-1 basically, and that was fucking great. Bayley looked good even when she was getting beat up. The girls looked good. The Absolution looked good. Everything was on point. When Sasha comes in, it was
they had been beating up on Bayley for a while.
Yeah, so it was good to see Sasha help Bayley out. That was cool. And when Mickey comes in, they threw in that extra spice of there was a kind of like a little rift because of the whole allegiance with Alexa that's been established. Which, mind you, that was a little weak, but expected because of Alexa's cowardly ways. But I gotta say, Mickey was my favorite in this. And maybe that's just because I want to marry her and lick her butthole clean.
I would totally lick her butthole clean after some poop. But, yeah, she did look really good in this for once.
Yeah. Well,
she has been looking good.
Mickey came back strong.
They actually gave her something to do for more than a second.
I mean, she's been getting stuff to do. It's just that it's good to see that she's not just somebody they brought back for show. They're actually getting her in there in the thick of it still, and progressively even more by the looks of it. And she looked great. Yeah, I mean, doing the high flying off the little pod, which you hate that they call them pods.
But, I thoroughly dislike that.
But yeah, man, it was just I'm glad that Mickey. It could have been anybody that they brought up, but I'm glad that Mickey is there in this current era for the women and actually enjoying the fruits of her labor and her talents, which she's always been talented. It's just she used to be in kind of a crappy era where they didn't get their what they deserved. So it's good. I'm happy to see her work this way. Although once she gets that big spot, she gets eliminated right away.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that was kind of sad but it was sad, but it was good because we saw Bayley and Sasha team up against her, which again, at first I was kind of like, man, they're just gonna keep going, being vague about this Sasha being a bitch thing again. Because a few weeks ago in Raw, they had her come up being bitchy again towards Bayley, and then they they just kind of rewind on it and go, never mind.
Teasing it forever, it seems like.
And that's been going on for so fucking long. But as it turns out, this match pretty much, I hope, unless they go back on it again. But pretty much, I mean, the fucking cue is there for them to go ahead and just call this a rift in their friendship for fucking sure. With Sasha kind of turning on Bayley,
kicking her in a dome.
Yeah, taking advantage of that whole thing, and so anyway, it came down to Banks and Bliss. But like you said, the whole fucking match was exciting, man. And they did stuff with the chamber, not just they were in a chamber.
Yeah.
They actually used their environment. There was some fun spots, especially seeing Alexa being a coward. Not only did that build up her character and where she stands right now in terms of her merit for holding the belt, which I think if she doesn't drop it in WrestleMania, that's kind of weird, but I think that's where that's going. So it was good to see her seem less worthy of it, even more so now. And it's just pretty neat, man. Anything you want to add or elaborate on or one hand use?
Not really. Mostly, I just want to reiterate that this was probably my favorite match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to that men's one, pretty great. Because that men's one, woo.
And once Alexa, once Alexa finally gets her moment to shine, she gives a little speech, kind of.
Oh yeah.
And she's kind of moved by the audience, and you could tell that some of that was a little genuine. I'm pretty sure it's nice to hear thousands of people chanting her name.
Her patented little face speech, and then turns into a complete douche speech. So, and it was pretty funny that the crowd actually cheered her shitting on the crowd.
Yeah. So that's good. Again, that just shows how well her character is ingrained in the storyline. Even though the women, despite how much more screen time they're getting, they still kind of get that shaft a little, with being relegated to just one match a night sometimes, which kind of stinks. But it was just good. It was good character moments for everybody. Great action. Favorite match of the night for both of us. Highly recommend watching that. Then we get some fucking promo from damned Braun Strowman these backstage, selfie promos, they gotta fucking stop.
They're not good.
They're horribly staged, for one. Not all of them can act very well, so it's like, come on, man, this is not looking good. Anyway, it was fine, except when you think, like, why the fuck is the monster among men, as they're so adamant on letting us know that he is? Why is he fucking selfieing in the fucking back?
Yeah, what does he care about? Freaking talking into a little phone and shit.
And then the fucking menacing threat towards Braun Strowman, calling him a pet beastie boy. That was fucking gay. But anyway, speaking of gay, we got the next match, which wasn't good.
No.
And that's the Bar versus Titus Worldwide, which suck.
Yep.
Look, it's nothing against Titus Worldwide, but they fucking suck as characters.
They're not good.
Apollo's a great athlete, but his character's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Literal, like an Aardvark has a better character.
Damn, I would want to watch an Aardvark wrestle.
No, I'm just talking just an Aardvark walking on the street.
All right.
Is a better character than Apollo. And Titus is more ass than man. And he's like 100 years old.
We noticed he had a massive ass today.
He does have a massive ass. It's distracting. But they're just not interesting, man.
No.
I wish I could like them, because the tag team division in Raw is pretty pitiful. And also, I wish I could like them so that there would be more competition in the tag team division. Because before, we had Seth Rollins and what's-his-face, Jason Jordan, going against the Bar every fucking second, and that was boring as hell, because it's like just repeating the same shit over and over again. And then this storyline, by the way, is like, fuck, it comes and goes. 1 week Titus wins for some damn reason.
There was a point in the match towards the end where you're like, wait, is this for the titles? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, why?
Yeah. I mean, I should have known because they announced it.
Yeah, they did.
But I was boggled. My mind was boggled still that it was for any title, because they don't deserve a title shot. There's nothing in the storyline that's built up, solidly for them getting a title shot. And thankfully, they ended up losing because, fuck gives a shit. Who the fuck's gonna give Titus at this point anything?
During this match, the Guardian texted me and said that he would rather be taking a poop. He wished he was taking a poop.
Fuck yeah.
Instead of watching
Might as well
this match.
fucking watching a turd on TV.
So was I, because I was getting ravaged by the chili beans I ate. But that's another story.
And a horrible one it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is just like a who gives a shit match.
Snack match.
Not even. This is I want to shoot my brains out match.
Like, this should have been the pre-show match. This shouldn't even have been on screen match.
Yeah, it really shouldn't have. Like, I understand. Look, honestly, if I had to pick between Titus Worldwide versus the Bar and Gallows and Anderson versus Miztourage, I would have put Miztourage where it was in the pre-show. But fuck, it's not good.
Nope.
Either way, we lose.
Yep.
And so it's even pointless to keep on talking about that. Whatever. The Bar won, as they should have, and Titus continues to suck. Apollo sucks by default of being in Titus Worldwide.
Apollo got a massive booze when he started punching, I think it was Cesaro, by the way. Yeah. So no one cares.
Yeah. It's sad, really, because, these people put in their hard work into this, but, their bodies are being destroyed, and they're such a sucky-ass team. It's
not even worth it.
It's terrible. But at least Dana Brooke is doing something, so I guess. I mean,
I gotta say, she's my favorite part of Titus Worldwide, and that's pretty sad.
Yeah. Nobody's my favorite part. Titus's huge ass.
It's your favorite. It's a character of its own.
Anyway, speaking of huge asses, we got Thickness versus Asuka.
Yeah.
And that, of course, Thickness being Nia Jax, who I've actually turned a leaf on. I used to dislike her. Check out our other channel where I think we still have some of our old wrestling reviews. Nobody watches old wrestling reviews anyway. Whatever. I used to dislike her a bit, but they've been booking her pretty well, and now she actually seems like this force to be reckoned with, which is good, which is what she should seem like. She's no longer in. Not that she ever was in Tamina territory. Wow. She was like way above that, but now she really seems super, super powerful and unstoppable. So the way this has been built up, this seemed like a worthy match for Asuka to be in, to contend with. And really the first match since she's come back, besides the Sasha one she had a few weeks ago, where her skill was put, there was some challenge for Asuka. where it seemed to the audience that may not have known her in NXT that she could be worthy of all the clout. And this is another one of those matches. This is probably my second favorite match of the night. In fact, it is, because the other options are fucking Titus Worldwide and shit. But anyway, it was a great match, man. It was good to see somebody actually bring it to Asuka. Asuka actually seemed like she was going up against something like a titan. It was just neat to see that. And also, I mean, suffice it to say that it was also neat to see that despite her being torn down, she had enough chutzpah in her and enough skill and talent to turn it around on Nia and actually come out with the win. So that's the result. Asuka wins. Nia is not part of the whole championship match scene, and Asuka continues with her undefeated streak. Yeah. What did you think of this match? Thoughts, ideas, and how stinky is Nia Jax's bodysuit?
That bodysuit stinks real bad. I liked the match. I was a little iffy of it at first, but it did grow on me. Much like mold grows in Nia Jax's bodysuit.
Dude, that fucking bodysuit must stink.
It's not good.
There's no fucking breathing shit in that thing.
Nope. But yeah, I did quite like it. I like that spot where it looked like Nia Jax was gonna freaking ass blast Asuka in the face, and she just falls and hits her ass, and that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But she had to continue. But yeah, they make Asuka look like a little sly. They use her sly quickness, and basically have Nia take herself down, basically.
Yeah, which was cool. It was like seeing somebody chop down a giant, piece by piece.
Yeah, it was like a boss fight in a game.
Yeah, it really was.
Now, I do want to say that the end was a little weird because it looked like Nia Jax missed a kick out, to me at least. Mm-hmm. And the same with the Guardian. He also mentioned that. But I think it was still the intended end. I don't think it was a messed up ending.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it's fine. It's not like they messed anything up. It just looked a little weird because she definitely kicked out slightly late. But, the match was cool. And she demolishes Asuka through the little barrier at the end.
Yeah, that was neat. After the whole match is over, Asuka is getting helped out of the ring because she is worn down, body torn apart by
the suit.
By meeting the woman that's been poured into a fucking suit. And, Nia just ravages her, man. And I gotta say, Nia's looking much more physically threatening than, like, over 80% of the male roster. Like, fuck, this bitch just went through the barrier, It just looked great and impressive. So I'm really impressed with Nia Jax. I'm glad she's at this point where she is, like, a full-bred force to be reckoned with. Very cool to see that. Somebody worthy as an opponent to any face, or even the heels, because she seems to stand alone on her own in that respect too.
There was a part in the match where Nia Jax jumps, and Asuka was meant to roll away, and she just lands on her legs. Woo! That must have hurt.
Yeah. The fuck? Fucking shit's creaking to hell and back.
Yep.
So I suggest not leaning on it, or not shifting. Because
I gotta keep shifting because of this wolf illness. Wolf brand chili. Don't eat it unless you like freaking horrible burps that hurt.
Speaking of wolves, that's right, wolves. Mm-hmm. We have two wolves. I'm just going with that. Yeah. It makes no sense. But the next match was Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Again, like the Titus thing, not to that degree of lameness, but it felt like this match came out of nowhere. Now we have had
build-up
interchanges between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, but they're like non-existent interchanges. Like, they're just laughing at each other half the time. And Matt Hardy hasn't had the time to build the idea of his character up for the audience that doesn't understand who he is. So I'm sure a lot of people are like, what is this fucking shit where they're just laughing at each other? And, these promos they cut, like, I don't even understand why the fuck the half the people on the commentating team, or there's only 3 of them, so I guess like 2/3 of them tear them down. Like, we don't understand what they mean. Like, you can just listen to it and you get what it's saying. The thing is, the idea is so bonkers and crazy and out of left field that it takes an investment to sell this fucking concept, and they're not putting that investment into it.
Yeah, it doesn't reach the points where it's too corny to just be fun, like it was in TNA.
It's just the thing that happens in the middle of 10,000 hours of other things.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
For a second.
Like, at least in Impact, they knew to build it around that and build up the story. Here, it's just like, there's a weird guy in this one segment, and you're going to go eat a snack during it because it's not very exciting, and it kind of looks.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks because, anybody that's seen the broken stuff, you see shreds of it there, but it's not enough for even people that are familiar with it to be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And the result is that's kind of what you get in this match. Sadly, this is the most we've seen of both these characters playing against each other.
Yeah.
And it's the first time we've really seen them go out and out against each other physically in the ring, because all their previous physical encounters were just like, oh, look, I knocked him out and now I'm like gone. And there's only been like a couple of those. The rest have been these laugh-offs, which make fucking zero sense. But anyway... It was actually, despite having absolutely no foundation to work on, it actually started pretty well. I thought the promo package was good. It made it seem like things had happened.
It actually kind of made sense.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a deceptive promo package. Like, if somebody hadn't seen Raw for the last 2 months or so, they're like, oh, look, all this cool shit happened. When in reality, it was like, it happened, but not that way. It was a deceptive package, but it did make it seem cool, at least somewhat palatable to the audience. And then the way the match started was actually pretty cool. Matt Hardy actually got people involved in it. You saw the little, streaks of brilliance in the fucking gimmick.
They have that little fake out with Matt Hardy disappearing.
Yeah, all that stuff. Cool. Yeah, that stuff is cool.
Although it's funny when you think about it, the people being there, they just saw him like hiding.
Yeah,
but it was cool to us.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff was neat.
But the part where he's cheering for Bray Wyatt, that was cool.
Yeah, again, all that stuff touches on the gimmick as people that are familiar with know it, and is interesting to anybody that doesn't know it. However, because there's so little to build up on, and there's zero foundation, basically, it petered out.
Yeah, big time. And the crowd was not into it.
Yeah, the crowd, eventually there was a beach ball in the audience that was getting more attention. And first of all, that's just fucking... I'm just going to say it, it's fucking disrespectful. It sucks that people would do that. I don't care if it's the worst match on earth.
Oh, Titus.
I don't care if it's Titus Worldwide. I don't give a fuck, man. It's fine to criticize. It's fine to be involved in the event and to, like, openly criticize the people. Like, I'm okay with a Titus fucking sucks chant because it sucks. But do it at the fucking performers. Don't fucking be distracted by a beach ball. It's just like, come on, man. These people are putting their fucking bodies on the line. At least fucking do that much. So that was fucking really shitty. But it also is demonstrative of where this fucking storyline stands. And that is that they've done nothing to help it.
The fact that last year everybody was crazy about the Hardys coming back.
Yeah.
And now they're just throwing beach balls around. That's how little they've done with them.
Yeah, it's really sad that that's where they've left this thing. Especially with such a rich background. Something that served as a springboard for it, and they just let it wither on the vine like this. So the response is understood. I will say that Matt Hardy, Bray seemed affected by it, rightfully so. And I will say that Matt Hardy, once he noticed what was going on, actually kind of got the crowd.
Yeah, he did.
To participate. The way they were doing things, he got it to be part of the gimmick, which just speaks volumes of if he is allowed to handle this gimmick right, it could be the best thing that ever happened to WWE. But he's not being allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So what we got was a match that started great and just kind of petered out and ended okay.
Yeah, because just to elaborate on what you're saying, it started with the beach ball, and then there was beach ball chants, and then there was chants for someone else. I don't remember who. And
Rusev Day.
Yeah, there you go, Rusev. And then there was another chant a little bit, and every time they would show Bray Wyatt, you'd be like, "Oh, this is not good." Yeah. But of course, the commentators were trying to, make it like, "Oh, they're trying to get on his head or whatever," which to us was just like, no.
Yeah, I was just trying to save face,
which is understandable, mind you. But yeah, it is very interesting and speaks volumes for Matt Hardy that he did get them back into the match,
yeah,
as well as he could with what was there,
what was available.
Yeah, he did get them to pay attention again,
and that should be a wake up call to the WWE to go, hey, look, man, you've stacked the deck against this guy despite him handing you the full fucking deck, and he can still do that. He can still manage that. Let him do what he has to do in full. You know, you already have a 10 million hour show every fucking Monday. Give him more than 5 minutes like you've been doing. Give him 10 minutes, 15 minutes even. He can do a lot with that time. Don't rely on the gimmicks that he was relying on in TNA, which was a lot of social media stuff, because a lot of people don't watch social media like hawks like that. You know, they just don't. TNA fans at that time were a lot more dedicated because it was a smaller kind of proto-indie type of thing. I mean, it's not really indie, but
at least do both. Like,
yeah, you got to strike a balance somewhere. But anyway, whatever.
Matt Hardy's great at all that shit, but if you don't have him have screen time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter worth a lick of shit if he's got nothing to jump off of. He's just floating in the void.
Yep. Now anyway. I'm hoping maybe he's in this weird void realm until Jeff Hardy comes back.
I hope so.
But this entire run has been filled with, I hope this happens because of this. And it's getting a little tiresome.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that Jeff Hardy's return is just going to be what they've always done. And that's that they're going to focus on Jeff Hardy being a single. And they're just going to ignore them being a thing, their storyline. I hope that's not the case. But that's been the case every single time the Hardys have been in. You know, they just eventually focus on Jeff Hardy. So I don't know, man. But the point is, Matt Hardy won this bout. And that's what should have happened. We'll see where it goes from there. It's weird. But anyway, the next part of the night was possibly my favorite part of the night. And I say that already having called my favorite match, the first one, the Women's Elimination Chamber. This was not a match. This was just something that happened. Now we're talking about Ronda Rousey signing. What'd you think? What'd you think overall?
I thought it was pretty cool. It was a good way to bring back the lame storyline that we thought they were going to do. But it actually did it in an interesting way. Because like who cares about was it like a 3-year-old storyline at this point? But I think they actually did it in well enough so that I'm like, okay, I kind of care about this if they do go through with that, which clearly they will. And bringing Kurt Angle into it was cool. Now Kurt Angle misspeaking a lot, but that's all right. We forgive him. But yeah, I agree. This is probably one of the better moments of the night because up to this point, after the first match, it won great.
Yeah, man. I loved it because it got to the point where it was tense.
Yeah.
And that's for a lot of different reasons. The first thing was when Ronda came out, you know, after Trips, Stephanie, and Kurt Angle are out there, Ronda comes out and they ask her to speak. I don't know if this was intentional. I don't know if she's not, you know, efficient at mic work yet. I don't know if it was genuine reaction. I don't know if she's just that good an actress that's the way it sounded. But either way, she sounded very nervous.
Yeah, big time.
Very unsure. It didn't sound intentional. So I don't know if it could be. It could not be. I don't know. If it wasn't, fucking kudos, because fuck, I was sold on the idea that she was fucking dead nervous, dead in the water nervous. And moved at the same time. But either way, whether it was intentional or not, it worked in her favor because, as we know, the reaction to Ronda Rousey went from her initial turn on fucking Royal Rumble, where everybody was happy to see her and shocked, to kind of vitriolic hate against her. Unnecessary vitriolic hate. Because everybody rode that, oh, she took the fucking spotlight off of the women train. No, she didn't. She was doing what was required of her because this is the job that she's doing now. You know, it's not her fault. It's character they're building. Call it bad booking, whatever. I didn't think it was bad booking. I didn't think it took anything away from the women. Whatever. But everybody's been riding this fucking train. So I'm glad, one, that she didn't get booed out of the building. You heard some boos in there, but I'm glad that didn't happen because that would have been beach ball in the audience equivalent of stupidity from the fans. Anyway, That being said, I think her being nervous, either real, whether it was real or she was acting, I think that benefited her at that precise moment.
Yeah.
Understanding, because it showed a vulnerability. It showed something that somebody like Brock Lesnar, when he came in very much the same fashion, did not have, which was sympathy. You know, oh, this is a human being, and she's not. Now, I hope that it's not that her mic skills suck, because then that eventually will wear thin. You know, be like, come on, girl, the fuck is this?
I will say that when she did start talking, it was a little bit worrying, because I was like, oh no, she's not going to be good on the mic. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, it works. We'll see how it is later on. Yeah, it totally worked in that moment.
That's exactly what I'm saying. In that moment, it evoked sympathy for her character, empathy even, because you could put yourself in that place. So I hope that was intentional.
Yeah.
It would suggest, by the way things developed, that it was intentional, because, when things turned against her, she got the hard Ronda face and all that stuff. But she didn't do any mic work at that point, so we're not sure. So, but that's also good. That intrigues me. That makes me want to go, is she good? That makes me want to return and see more of her to figure out exactly where she stands. That being said, that aside, what they laid down was also pretty cool. Because everybody in the world, I think, wants to see Stephanie get hers. And they teased that to the point where you thought you were going to get it. At least I thought I was going to get it. But they wisely held back and let Triple H take the bump through the table from Ronda, which was a great moment. That's like a fucking Stone Cold moment. That's like you're building a Stone Cold. Now the question is she going to be good enough on the mic to complete that Stone Cold picture? Because you've just done that. Now we've heard rumors about this fucking thing happening, and at first I was kind of like not on board with that. Like, come on, man, I don't want to see Ronda and somebody, potentially The Rock or Kurt Angle. It seems like Kurt Angle though, against fucking Trips and Stephanie, especially with Stephanie being like a non-wrestling entity.
Especially because it's been so long. It seemed like it was gonna be like, who cares at this point? But I think they actually did a pretty good job.
Yeah, now it's I fucking care. I want to see this.
Because I like that there was like that thing with Kurt Angle being like, oh, they were talking shit behind your back, and the whole now we own her aspect to it. Mm-hmm. I think that actually ended up being a good callback to a thing, because if they had just been like, oh, we hate you because of this, that would have been dumb. The fact that they made it a plot point now was pretty smart. And have Kurt Angle be like, hey.
It's played off the stuff with Kurt Angle and Trips recently.
Yeah.
It played off that old storyline, WrestleMania 31. It played off that.
The whole thing with Stephanie and Kurt Angle too.
Yeah, it played off of their relationship. It played off of the idea that the world thinks that Ronda is kind of like done.
Yeah.
All that stuff works. It worked beautifully. I was surprised at how well it worked, especially considering how shaky that nervous promo was. It all worked, man. And now it's just a question of, is this the way it was supposed to go and we'll see even better things? Or is this a fluke and we're just interested for now? We'll see. But either way, I think Ronda's a good thing, potentially. And I think this moment, if it was played out the way it was supposed to be played out, if this was all intentional, then we may have just created a, sort of Stone Cold type character here, potentially. But we'll see. We'll see, because those mic skills need to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
By the way, it was a fantastic part of the show. Anyway, the last thing that came up was the men's Elimination Chamber fucking 7-man match.
This was a match.
Wasn't good. Anyway, it started with the 3 men, Miz, Finn Balor, and Rollins in the ring. The order of the entries were Cena, Reigns, Braun, then Elias at the ass end. The order of eliminations was Miz out first, taken out by Braun. Then Elias, Cena, and Balor, and Rollins, all taken out by Braun, and it came down to Braun versus Reigns, of course. Now, we've been hearing rumors of this fucking thing, and we, of course, had to expect it, because Reigns apparently is worshipped by fucking WWE corporate.
Yeah.
So, it was just like, it was dead from the beginning, because you just knew that was going to be the results. And especially considering the Royal Rumble results, we're like, it's time for Reigns to get his again.
Yeah.
So, I was hoping And the wise thing would have been, with the amount of good, positive heat that you got behind Rollins this past Monday, that they would have actually surprised us with Rollins going through this entire match, just like he went 90 minutes through, an hour through this last Monday's, what's it called, match? Pretty cool, and I forgot the name of Gauntlet match. Anyway, it would have been neat to see Rollins get the upper hand, because he's got that much positive energy behind him right now that even I'm not big on Rollins, you know this. I was like, man, I really hope they do that, because they really sold me on Rollins this past Monday, and it would just have been unexpected, out of the blue, and it would have been greatly appreciated by everyone. As a result, that, and as expected, they didn't give us that at all.
Or at least Braun.
Or anybody, anybody. Yeah, although Braun, I don't think would have been a good choice either, because we've already seen him go up against Brock and lose.
Yeah.
So it would have just been like, what, third time's a charm, or he's not that strong, I guess, or whatever. Whatever. The point is, either way, we get this bullshit result. Anyway, what'd you think overall of the match? What were the positives, the negatives?
I thought it started a little slow. And
started abysmally slow.
Yeah, and they mentioned it, which is never a good sign. But once people started coming in, it picked up a little bit. There was like a whole area where they're just trading finishers, and that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I think that's the point where it picked up. Which actually, if you think about it, that was 1, 2, 3, about 3 entries in.
Yeah.
Which really is a fucking long time. Up to that point, it was just these people being like
slow,
ambivalent about what they're fucking gonna do. Yeah. Like, there's literally a million chances to cover somebody, pin somebody. Nobody taking any chances.
And that didn't make sense at that point. It didn't make sense once Braun came in, because he was just destroying everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, he can sell the fact that he's not gonna pin someone. But in the first, 50 hours, they're just walking around. There's people on the floor.
And I understand that they're trying to keep Braun strong, so they reserved all the eliminations for Braun to do.
Yeah.
So that way,
at least have them do something.
Yeah, so that when he gets eliminated by Reigns, he doesn't look like a complete weak ass. Well, guess what? He got eliminated by Reigns, and he still looks like a jackass, because Reigns fucking sucks. And look, I'm not even riding the Reigns sucks wagon. I'm just saying, his time, it's done. He's not going to be the guy that you want.
Stop trying.
Stop trying. Nobody wants him to be there. Let him be what he should be, which is a fine wrestler. He should be a great mid-carder, even a main eventer even now and then, but is he the guy that you want to be? No, it's evident by now that no. So Braun just ended up looking shitty anyway, and Roman Reigns, whatever, nobody cares that he won. Although he has tons of fans, of course, so they care, but you know what I mean? Like, just it's universal. Like, we don't want this guy. What the fuck?
There's several moments in this match where he was like freaking demigod status.
Yeah.
There's a part where there's this little this little setup with The Miz doing his little kicks to everybody, and they all go down after 2 kicks. Except for Reigns, he takes 80 and then just stands up, doesn't sell it or anything.
Yep.
And then there's a part where
bounces off a fucking buckle bomb. Yeah. Into a perfect fucking move.
He freaking used that as lube to get into the freaking ass somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? At least sell, asshole.
It makes absolutely no sense. Again, I get why Braun was the one eliminating everybody, but it still made him look weak. And Reigns still looked like the same guy you've been pushing forever, which is just impossible to fucking defeat demigod.
And they really did try to build Braun to counteract it. Everybody was giving him finishers, kicked out of everything they threw at him.
Mm-hmm.
But then he still went down with a spear. So
that was the best part of the match, when it was everybody against Braun.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to save this match, and especially considering that all those people that were giving these finishers to Braun and then going up against him, trying to take him down, they had ample opportunities. See, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. You just ruined the beginning of the match because you had all these opportunities to pin people and nobody took them. So, I don't know about you, but the whole time I was like, they could have just pinned him there. And instinctually, you think that's stupid. Logically, you know why they're doing it. So it just makes it stupider. Like, all right, dude, we get it. Just fucking bring Braun out so we can take everybody out. Because clearly nobody's going to take advantage of... Literally an ant could have crawled on top of somebody and pinned them and won.
Yep.
Because people were just fucking on the floor with the one person standing going...
Yeah, that was the worst part of the freaking match.
Like, fucking pin someone,
why the hell is The Miz just standing there doing nothing?
Yes, it was fucking retarded, man. Again, I understand why they did it. Did it work? Fuck no. It sucked. Anyway.
There is one part where Elias kind of like cowers. That was kind of funny. And then that attempted pin on Braun where everybody's trying. That was kind of... There was moments where it was kind of cool. But for the most part, it was like... And the end was just like, this...
Yeah, it was just
This wasn't good. Yeah. As a whole, that match was kind of shitty. Had its moments, but as a whole...
Yeah.
Foo.
As a whole, it doesn't work.
Nope.
The moments that it has are not enough to save it.
And no one used the freaking... The cage, basically. They did towards the end. But compared to the women who were using the cage the whole match, they touched the cage like twice. And someone climbed up on a pod. That's it.
That's one of the things that the women put the men to shame on, the use of their environment. They just... That and everything else. Because the women's match was fast-paced, exciting. There was some unexpected turns here and there. You know, it was just a neat match. This, a dud. Fucking dud. But anyway...
So this one started strong and...
It kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
But yeah, the strong points in this thing really end up selling the event. And for me, that was the women's match, the Asuka versus Nia match, and of course the Ronda signing. And I'm okay with the Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt thing because it's the most we've gotten out of that, and I guess that's okay. And I'm not okay with fucking Titus and the bar match because that fucking licked.
Yeah.
Again, technically a fine match, but like who gives a fuck? And yeah, of course, I'm not okay with the men's Elimination Chamber match because fuck! The fuck was that bullshit?
It wasn't good.
Anyway, that being said, what would you rate this event on a scale of 1 to 10? Hit me with it, and any final thoughts?
I think overall, I don't think there was too many negatives for this one to be a hit for me. It's also not shit because I don't know why I'm tying it into hit or shit. But the first match alone was pretty great and pretty historic, I guess. If you want to bring that freaking bag into the game, that's not a word. Woo! Hold on, let me All right. I'm dying.
Just
here.
Fucking rate this.
Woo!
This is terrible.
Anyway, the first one's good and it's good enough to elevate it beyond feast. The Ronda Rousey thing was really good. The Nia Jax thing was good enough. But overall, I think this one was kind of a dud. I'll give it a very mediocre 5.
I'm going to give it a 7 because the positives far outweigh the negatives for me. Even though the negatives were lengthier, in a manner of speaking, the positives are far too good to ignore. And it's definitely grades above like 75% of the events last year, which were fucking complete duds most of the time. So there's that to consider too. But anyway, again, yeah, the positives far outweigh that, so I'll give it a 7 because those positives were highly entertaining and very intriguing. Now I really, really want to watch what's going to happen next. I'm sure they'll drop the ball on that, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been the WrestleWramblers talking this little fucking event. We're almost there to WrestleMania. The next one is Fastlane. We plan to put out some videos in between if this fucking asshole can get off his lazy fucking futon, scrub his fucking crevices, and actually get to do some work on this fucking videos.
Why do I have
but anyway,
futon?
This has been Ahab and the GoonTick rambling about wrestling. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons because we'll ramble some more. Bye.
I have a little fleece.
Nope. Fucking hate the fleece.